Holy nostalgia.
On today's episode, we invite artist Mike Reuter to put the 1999 action classic The Matrix to the ultimate test, the nostalgia test. You take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
Dan, let's take both pills. Let's take both pills, baby. Why not? Let's just do some fucking candy flipping up in here. Why the fuck not?
Wow.
I'm taking the regular pill and then give me the other one and let me go back to the pod after I find out the reality of it. Because I could tell if I had to wear that sweater all the time, I'm going, give me back the pill. I want to go back.
Oh my God.
I'm okay with just being trapped in the Matrix.
Oh my God.
I want to have steak. I want to go to Michelin star restaurants. I'm cool with it.
Friggin' Joey Pants over here.
Fucking oatmeal and shit.
Joey Pants over here.
That steak look good.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Nostalgia Test podcast, where Manny and I, longtime friends, we put our pop culture past to the ultimate test. I'm here in Los Angeles, and my co-host and longtime friend Manny is over there on Long Island, there in New York. Manny, welcome to another
what's up,
episode.
man? It's 1999 we're doing. Guys, 2024, we're doing the 90s. And today is a special guest, I would say like artist spotlight. We're going to call this one.
Absolutely.
New series called the Artist Spotlight, and it merges all my worlds. All right, so nostalgic world, beer world, because this is an artist that has actually presented his art at Lithology. And if you guys have our regular listeners, you guys know I am the owner of Lithology Brewing Company on 211A Main Street in Farmingdale. If you're looking for some refreshing gold medal winning brown ale, come down to 211A Main Street in Farmingdale. But here we are today, Dan. This is gonna be exciting. We got the artist Mike, who is he chose this one.
Yeah.
So we're gonna interview him. We're gonna have him tell us about his stuff, and I'm gonna stop talking and I'm gonna let you introduce him, and we're gonna actually stop making believe he's not in the room. So.
Yeah. Mike, go ahead. Tell the audience a little bit about yourself, your art, and and we'll jump in because I'd love to know more about it.
Okay, my name is Michael Reuter. Grew up on Long Island. I am currently residing on Long Island right now. I do a lot of artwork that is, ranges from fine art to writing to filming. I went to school specifically for graphic design, and I minored in film. So my range of artistic spectrum goes back and forth. Right now, as you could see, Manny saw, I build these large posters made out of recycled VHS tapes. And I'm currently doing a lot more writing as well. Film has been a part of my life, so I love it. I've made numerous short films. I worked on a couple long full-length films, but I'm really getting excited to get back into it, so I'm doing a lot more writing. And that's a little bit of a gist of me.
Mike, I'm looking at you, even though we're in like green screen, and you keep coming in and out. I notice you're full of nostalgia going on. You have a Game Boy watch on right now. You have the Marty McFly hat from Back to the Future 2 on, and behind Mike, if you guys go on YouTube to check us out, it's what his art was at Lithology, and this is the Lithology wall, and all his art was up here. When did you start doing the VHS tapes?
So I was currently working full time at like an award company doing laser engraving on awards and stuff. And, as anyone else, I want, to be my own boss. And so I arranged
don't. It's not that great. No, I'm just kidding.
Agreed. No, I completely agree.
Do you want to put out fires every day? Then
yeah,
sure.
it's nothing but chaos. But I essentially got my own machine and started saying, hey, I do this shit myself, and, just trying to hustle.
So when you were doing the engraving, you kind of looking at it, you were like already thinking like, oh, this thing could look really cool with like other things on it. And like, because like when I first saw one of your pieces, I was like, how the heck did you even think about that? Like conceptualize, let me put VHS tapes together, paint them, and then use an engraver to show my art on top of it.
Yeah.
Which was like basically it's like reverse art. Like you're taking the
Yeah.
paint off to
So
create the art.
yeah, so essentially I completely assemble, I take 9 VHS tapes, I take all the labels off, clean them all up, and I use industrial adhesive to put 9 VHS cassettes together, form a large poster. I spray paint it over, and then I use industrial laser engraver to take out the paint, which reveals the image.
Yeah.
Wow.
Do you so you kind of make them look like movie posters, like old
Yeah,
school movie
so
posters.
what I'm doing a lot is actually so when you take the VHS covers, and expand it to 9 VHS tapes,
Mm.
the aspect ratio pretty much fits exactly in that thing. So a lot of the times I do a lot of, Photoshop and stuff. So I'll use actual VHS covers and I'll go in and retweak it and have it ready to where I could use it for the laser engraving machine. So a lot of them will be actual specific VHS covers. A lot of the details, like you could see the roughness, like when VHS tapes get scrubbed up and stuff,
Mm.
'cause they're VHS tapes, fucking
Yeah.
1,000 years old and shit. But you could literally see like the scruffness that comes out on the actual engraving. It's pretty cool.
Wow.
It's really cool. How long does it take you to make a piece? From start to
From start to end, usually about 2 weeks roughly. A lot of it's dry time is the worst thing. You got to wait for paint to dry. You got to wait for glue to dry. I mean, if I didn't have to wait for dry time, like the engraving takes about 2 hours itself. So it's pretty much a lot of wait time. But
Are you getting
I
a
mean,
lot of people like calling up like they want a specific thing, or just they see that you did something, they liked it, and they like get it? Because right behind your head, I see 3 ninjas right there. Yeah, which one called it? Did you just think about that because it's like a movie you liked, or just like somebody asked for it, or?
sometimes that one specifically I just made myself just because I mean I have the nostalgia in me as well. So
Yeah.
I think of all these movies that I've seen when I was a kid, and I was like, just I'm gonna do this one. And also it's also like I have a certain spray paint, and I'm like, I have this specific color. What movie goes with this color?
Yeah.
So sometimes it's just random, and then a lot of times it's mostly me thinking of the movies I want to make. So I made Predator and Jaws, and that person was very specific. He's like, I want this character and I want this, the logo here and stuff like that. And a lot of other people will just like it and they'll just be like, I want this movie, make it however you make it. So
Wow.
So do you charge more for like custom? Like if someone's really gonna tell you to change it 500 times, like I know it's an artistic way, but at the same time,
Yeah.
if you're trying to please the client, you have to do it a certain way, but that also takes more time.
Yeah.
So like,
absolutely.
yeah. So
Yeah.
so people can. So how? Just I want to not wait until the end of the podcast for this. How can people find your stuff, and how can they order and get some art from you?
Absolutely. So pretty much all my stuff is on Instagram at MR the Artist. I also have a website which is connected to my Instagram. It's mrtheartist.bigcartel.com. And you could either DM me on Instagram or email me at mrtheartist@gmail.com and hit me up. I'm ready to make some pieces.
Yeah, and when this goes up, we're gonna be also. I'm gonna do it a video, or Dan, I'll give you all the shots that he had at
Sure.
Lithology, so you can kind of mix it in, so everybody kind of see, or even like just collab, and we could just kind of keep mixing and get it all over the place. I know I did a video when you were hanging your stuff up.
Yeah.
Yes, that video came out cool.
Yeah, but
that's when I was
that
like, we gotta
got us
have
to
you
this
on.
conversation, because I remember like you were putting the stuff up, and I was like, well, he obviously grew up in our era and loves and likes nostalgia enough that he's doing graphic designs of it. So like I was like, yeah, let's have you on the show, talk about your art and which we'll call it. And then you chose The Matrix. But before we get into that, you were saying that you were writing like short films and movies and stuff. Like,
yes,
are you currently like thinking of producing one? Or are you just writing it and sending it out? What's the process?
So I have a full length that I've ever written. I've written numerous shorter ones, and I want to write a full length that I've been writing notes on for like about a year now. So a little bit of post-apocalyptic kind of thing. I'm not really sure what it's going into, but I also really want to do some type of workaholics Letterkenny short comedy with skateboarding. I'm a huge skateboarder, and that actually goes into a lot of my work. You could see a couple
Yeah.
of the VHSs are from actual skate videos. So I want to do like comedy series because I was hoping to get in touch with some of the skate shops here, and location is key to have. If I could make like one location, obviously the production, the money takes money to work with that stuff.
Do you
So
you have a full-time gig doing something, or is this now turned into?
yeah, I do. I work overnights unloading trucks, get extra cash, and then I do a lot of my work at home, graphic
Are we
design work.
taking you from you got to get to work soon?
Not tonight. I'm good on
Okay,
today.
good.
Don't worry. Made sure that.
All right, so you get cat. You're making it work. You're freaking
Hey,
not stop. That's
gotta
awesome,
do
man.
it. Gotta
Yeah,
get the
Yeah.
hustle on,
that's
baby.
great.
So,
Wow.
what's your favorite genre?
Favorite genre right now, sci-fi. No
Sci-fi.
doubt. Matrix.
Okay.
There you go.
All right. Have you watched the Three Body Problem? Have you started watching that?
No, I actually just wrote that down too.
Yeah,
Haven't seen
I started watching it, but I was double screening. It is not a show that you could double screen on. You have to and you can't be tired. You have to like straight up pay attention,
just pay 10,
and
eyes
or
wide
else you
open.
just lose that. I'm like, what did I just watch? I have to go watch. I tried it 4 times already, so
Oh my
I had to
God.
sit down. And the guys
Damn.
from Flux Coffee get fluxed up. They've been talking about it. And I'm like, okay, I got to sit down and actually watch it. But it is sci-fi. It's your genre.
Nice.
It's apparently really really good. Apparently, so
Mm.
that
Yeah.
brings us here, Dan. Where are we
Yeah, it
at?
brings us right to the Matrix. I mean, I am so okay. So let's get like just the facts of the Matrix. If like someone
It's
has
Mike's
been
favorite, by the way. Favorite movie. You
living.
told me.
Oh, well, there we go.
Yeah. Let's not shit it too much.
Oh,
Hey,
well, okay.
I mean, everyone's got their own opinion. That's allowed. No doubt.
Well, for the people who've been living under a rock or in the Matrix, or if it's like 100 years from now, and you're wondering what is the Matrix? Well, the Matrix is a 1999 science fiction action film written and directed by the Wachowskis. It is the first installment in the Matrix film series, starring Keanu Reeves, Lawrence Fishburne, Carrie-Anne Moss, Hugo Weaving, and Joe Pantoliano, and depicts a dystopian future in which humanity is unknowingly trapped inside the Matrix, a simulated reality that intelligent machines have created to distract humans while using their bodies as an energy source. Maybe this is happening right now while I'm reading this and you're listening to it. When computer programmer Thomas Anderson, under the hacker alias Neo, uncovers the truth, he joins a rebellion against the machines along with other people who have been freed from the Matrix. That's just a little bit from the Wikipedia page. And boy, oh boy, 1999. Let's just go around real quick and be like, what do you remember from the first time seeing the Matrix? Mike, we'll start with you and then Manny.
So I think DVD players were like just coming out at that time, and my parents definitely got a DVD, and that was a DVD player, and that was the first DVD. I'm pretty sure we got it at the Wiz, if anybody remembers that store.
Yes.
Nobody beats
Nobody
it.
beats.
beats
But yeah,
Rest in peace.
R.I.P.
That was right next to Tower Records over here in
There you go.
Garden
Yeah.
City. Yeah.
Rest in peace.
First DVD I got, and the visuals, I mean, we'll get into that, but like I said, one of my favorite movies beyond dialogue, visuals, and like seeing it on DVD. Like once you go from VHS to DVD, I think the quality was like just like impeccable. Like it just changed it. So it was definitely a moment to remember.
Yeah, Manny.
So I'm not. I think I might have seen this in the theater. I was going to the movies a lot around that time. This was this like American? No, this is before American
Pie,
right?
I think came out in
Fast and Furious. Oh yeah, kind of
2001.
like around all the. Anyways, we
Let's
were going
check
to the
that
movies
out.
a lot. It was 1999, so I was still in high school, but I do remember this being a thing, right? This was like zeitgeist. It was what everybody talked about. I remember the music being awesome.
Yep.
For some reason, it got everybody into club music then. And I
had that
remember
soundtrack.
the technology, because it was a Matrix, the technology had to be, when I mean technology, the film had to look futuristic, and they pulled it off on this. At that time, this was like it was already advanced for the time that it came out.
Oh
And
yeah.
what Mike just said with the DVD, I remember specifically that that was like Blu-ray times. That was like if you needed a movie to sell on DVD, and
Mm-hmm.
this was the movie that
Yeah.
did that, because then you could watch the Blu-ray version, and there's probably like outtakes and showing you how the technology worked and the bullet stream and all that stuff. So
Yeah.
like I do
Okay.
remember this being like an event. This
Yeah.
movie started a lot of things after this.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I think we did see this in movie theaters, Manny, and this did come
Yeah.
out in the same year as American Pie, which came out in 1999, and I think we did see this in the theaters. I was thinking today too about American Pie for some reason, and I was like, we saw that in the movie theaters. We
Yeah.
saw a lot like The
Mhm.
Cell, that movie, which we're
That was
probably
when
gonna
we
have to
were
do.
like lining up to movie theaters where you had to get there like 2 3
Yes,
hours before. And
Yeah.
like I remember I lost my phone, my first Nokia phone, the mini snake phone, and we were
yeah,
trying to call it, and people were, dude,
that's
there's
when
like I unlocked crazy memories watching this movie. It
going to
was
the
nuts.
movies, blazing it up, getting into the
Yeah.
theater. You know, this is what we
Movies.
did, right? Like, but
Yeah.
like I would say, like The Matrix was crazy, and the music, I had that soundtrack, and I just could not listen to it enough. Like, I loved that soundtrack. So definitely, when I was watching the movie, the music was just amazing. And here's the thing, and then we'll get right into this. Like, Keanu Reeves is one of the most, in my opinion, at this point, the most successful actor on the planet. I mean, he has like
No
every
doubt.
amazing franchise. He's a part of every good franchise, and he is just killing it. I
Bro,
mean,
he's up there. I would say he's up there at like when you talk about people that are constantly known, even though he plays kind of the same character. It's like you
he's
talk
like
about
Johnny
Nicolas
Utah from
Cage.
Point Break in this film.
Yeah, like he doesn't go further than certain ranges, but this part was meant for him, I
Yeah.
think.
It's
Like,
incredible to hear like the other people that were supposed to be Neo too, which is crazy. Like their first choice was Johnny Depp. Like imagine this movie with Johnny Depp.
No,
absolutely not.
Woo!
I was like
That would be
that.
something right
I
there.
see when they always say that, like who was supposed to play. I'm always
Yeah.
like, it's almost like when if you believe like things are meant to happen the way they happen. It's
Mhm.
like how could Johnny Depp play this? It would have been a whole different movie.
Oh,
it would
completely.
it would
I'm
have
not saying
been.
it would have been bad,
I think it would have been bad.
but it wouldn't have been
I,
what it came out to be. Because like I just
Mhm.
don't see Johnny Depp acting that way or
I don't.
being that kind of Neo.
But
You
Johnny
know?
Depp's never been in an action movie. Like, really? I mean, right? I mean, Pirates is not an action film, it's an adventure film. And
No.
he's never done like true action, I think. I don't
He
think I've
was
ever.
I mean, I was gonna say blow, but that's not really action, it's more drama.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's never been in, I feel like, never been in a
That's funny
straight
you
up
say that.
action film.
Dan, I didn't even think about that. He isn't really like
Yeah.
an action star.
No, I think if you want to take one, if we want to switch out a Keanu Reeves movie
Don't say
and
his name again. Go ahead.
who and put in Johnny Depp, well, we could do like, I would see Johnny Depp in like Constantine. Like he could do a Constantine, which I love that movie. I think that's an underrated Keanu Reeves film, and that would be
I could
great.
see Johnny Depp and Constantine all
Yeah.
emo like.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like,
Who else was supposed to be Neo?
Will Smith, Brad Pitt, Leonardo DiCaprio. That's all I have. Probably was
Wow.
more, I'm sure.
I think
Okay.
they
But
picked
yeah,
the right
I
person.
think Will Smith was. I know there's a lot of talk because he was up for what was it, Wild Wild West? He took instead of this
Yeah.
movie because I think he was
Whoa.
really in
Oof.
contention for this movie, and he chose to do Wild Wild West.
He probably didn't want to, he probably wasn't allowed to do a soundtrack song. So they were like, he's like, I'm going to take Wild Wild West. Because like, what was going to start dancing to some sort of
For
Matrix
real.
like EDM song? Because at that point he was like in movies that like he was singing the main
Yeah,
song
yeah.
to the movie.
Oh my God, that would have been terrible.
Oh
Man
my
in
God.
Black.
I mean,
I
I
mean,
think
I don't think he would have been bad as it would have been a different Neo, but it definitely, I think, you know,
Val
he was
Kilmer was also tapped for it.
Val Kilmer.
Yeah. Oh, they even thought to put in Sandra Bullock as Neo.
Okay.
I think Nick Cage was
Nicholas-
up for it too.
Nick Cage. Oh my
Yeah.
God. Interesting.
I could see Nick Cage.
It would have
Because
been a
like
really
I have to
different
kind
Neo.
of say
Holy
that
God, it would have been a different Neo.
Nick Cage and Keanu Reeves kind of have the same like
Tone to them.
like the way they do movies is like
What,
that's
dude?
Yeah.
like
No, Nick Cage is a
dude, Nick Cage.
lunatic.
I love Nick Cage, dude. Have you seen the one he did where he plays Nick Cage? It's like
No, I
incredibly
gotta see
talented or
that.
Oh
something.
yes, I just saw that. It has the dude from the last ones, right?
Nick
Yeah, like what
Cage.
is his name?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's in it. Yeah, it
Nick.
was great. I thought it was great. I
That
mean,
movie was pretty funny. Yeah.
yeah, he
All
just
right.
makes Nick Cage just leans into being Nick Cage, and he
In
loves it.
1999,
True.
he did Bringing Out the Dead. Nick Cage. He was in Bringing Out the Dead in 8 millimeter, and then he would have
Mm.
done The Matrix. I don't know. That it
Oh
would have
yeah,
been.
little esoteric trivia. If you look at the movies that came out in 1999, reverse that 666. There's a lot of devil movies that came out in 99. A lot of hell movies.
Holy shit.
I'm sure there was. Yeah, definitely.
Oh
I'm
my
sure they did it
God.
on purpose.
But okay,
all right,
so The Matrix. Right away.
fantastic casting. Who else is
Yeah.
playing Trinity?
Oh,
I mean,
she's amazing.
it was great. She was awesome in this.
Yeah,
Awesome.
absolutely. Lawrence Fishburne, amazing.
And then they
Every
get back
single-
together in freaking what's that? John Wick. Isn't
Duh.
Lawrence Fishburne in that one? He
Yes,
plays
he is.
dude, they're great together.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, come on.
John Wick is like the Matrix on steroids. Like it's like ridiculous, but
Yeah,
this
except it's like
movie,
yeah.
it's okay. This movie was so like as soon as it started, that green color, like everything, I was like, what? It really made me think of though, as it's right away. I was like, so the future is DOS. Like that's what it looked like. It looked like a DOS
Well, they-
setup.
The old
Well, they
school
chose
computer monitors.
the green because they were in the computer. So the green
Yeah.
was supposed to be like the data that was falling around everybody.
Yeah.
So like the
Mhm.
directors never wanted to make any scene that was in the Matrix too blue. So they purposely
Yeah.
kept it.
Well, they use
Yeah.
3 colors for the movie. They have green
Yeah.
for the artificial world, blue for the
Mhm.
real world, and then yellow for the in between. So the training programs, if you notice, all
Yeah,
those are
they're
in like a
warm
yellow
tone.
tint.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Because
was
they weren't really in
interesting.
either world, right? Like that's
Yeah.
what their
No,
whole
Like an in
thing
between.
was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and everyone's spoilers for the Matrix. So we're gonna spoil all of this because okay, so deal
You're
with
in
it.
it right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. Because this one, after seeing every single movie in the franchise and knowing that this is some like this other thing from the last one, the video game and the game thing, it felt like a video game at some points where I was like, oh, this feels like moving through a game. Like certain parts to it, certain like things felt like cutscenes, certain things felt like mission. Like I was like, oh man, this is like the training montage. This is the train. This is the mission 1. This is mission 2. This is like, the jump program. Like that's something you have to do before you get into the next level. It was so interesting to
Yeah.
kind of think of it in those terms at this point. But yeah, no, it was great. I mean, I don't know what to say. Like, I have a lot of notes, but like it's just like it was so fun to like put on a movie from the 90s that didn't suck because we've been really we have not been batting really well for the 90s recently. But yeah, no, there was some amazing things. Yeah.
I have to say I was worried and I was like, is this really going to be that good? Like, could it be entertaining still?
Mm.
And I was like, just again, memories unlocked. I love that, like how wet everything was. I was like,
Wet.
I brought it up. I
Everything
was
was
like, where were they in the Matrix though? Like, were they supposed to be in Seattle? Where the fuck were they? Because
Yeah.
it wasn't just raining. Okay, there was moments
No.
of just
Forward.
buckets of water coming down.
He's in the
Coming
car
down.
when they were bringing him to see Morpheus and they were
Yeah.
like under that bridge. I was like,
Yeah.
that is more rain than I've ever seen ever.
I was like, are we also in a hurricane movie? Like,
Yeah.
are we in Twisters? Like, what
Oh.
is fucking happening?
That was
right
really
now?
funny. Yeah, that was really
I saw
funny.
that if you look in that scene when he's in the back of the car and the rain trickles down like the back of the window and they kind of replicate how the Matrix like coating comes down is
Yeah.
like how the raindrops go down the
Yeah.
windows.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
I mean,
Yeah.
there's so many clues now watching it so many years later. And like after seeing all 4, what is it? 4? There's 4 of them.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
4 of them.
Yeah.
You're looking at other things and stuff. And like, oh,
Mhm.
look, like there's a part where Neo gets woken up by the when they want the little drive from whatever. and they
I didn't
say
know it.
something, oh, like you look like you saw Jesus Christ, or you saw. So he referenced Jesus Christ, and I forgot that Matrix is supposed to be like, some would say that it's supposed to be like the story of Jesus Christ, like the Savior's coming and the Holy Trinity and all that stuff. And then there was a part when he's like, "Do you ever feel like you're in a dream, but you're not sure?" He's like, "Yeah, that's mescaline." I'm like,
Yeah.
"What, just doing mescaline?"
I was like, they're picking up, and he's a hacker, right? So like, I
Yeah,
was trying to think what they were picking up from him. It was so interesting
that's what I
to
was trying to
like,
figure out. What kind of hacking does he do?
I don't know, but
Do we know?
his apartment is trash.
I heard he's part of 4chan.
Got it. Yeah.
It's with the Q.
I was actually thinking there was a lot of Fight Club vibe in
Wait,
his
did you just say?
office
I'm
and
sorry,
stuff.
Mike. I'm sorry, Manny. Mike, did you say the cube?
The
No, the
Q. The
Q.
Q. The
Oh,
Q.
okay,
Q.
okay,
Q.
okay. Oh my God, because I thought I thought you said the cube, like that
Q.
movie Cube, which is
Oh, that
like
was a fucked up
we're
movie.
never doing that
That's a
movie.
good one.
That movie was crazy. That's a Mike movie right
Okay,
there.
I'm
He's like, I'm
sorry.
gonna
That
make a
was
Yeah,
poster
I've
interesting.
seen
I'm
about.
every
sorry
one of them.
about
There's
that.
like 6 of those
Yeah,
movies.
I saw another one of them, and I was like, "Why am I watching this?" It's like, what is happening? Okay, I'm sorry
Yeah.
about that.
I definitely got like where did he work? Like I was trying to figure out that whole storyline though. Like
At the
that
office,
was
if
like
Steve
he
Carell
got in
walked out, it'd be
trouble a
great.
little bit. And like I'm like, it was like, but it looked like Edward Norton was about to come out with fucking Tyler Durden too. Like
Yeah,
that was
yeah,
like the 90s, like typical 90s, like
yeah,
office looking
Yeah.
cubicle
yeah.
Cubicles,
situation
yeah.
that was happening.
I know this would be
So
like Office Space too. It was like, "Hey, how you doing?
yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about your TPS reports." It's like they pulled him in for that. Like it was like he got in trouble for like that. But back to the hacking thing, when they were trying to like, they were like, "Hey, Neo, wake up" and everything like that, and he presses escape. I had to write down immediate. I was like, pressing escape never works, like ever. Ever. It's like
You have to press something else when you press
you
escape.
can't just press
Escape
escape.
escape doesn't work with one button. Like
No,
it's a
no.
multiple button
You're,
function.
yeah, you're just like pressing escape. And it's just like, what am I doing here?
I mean, he's such a bad hacker that he doesn't know that you have to do more than just one.
Yeah, yeah. Oh my God. Then he gets that phone. I wanted that phone
What
so
phone are you
badly.
talking about? The cell phone?
Yeah,
One that shoots
the
open.
one that
The
shoots out.
Nokia.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
wanted that phone so badly. When I,
Everybody did.
Yeah.
And they
yeah,
were
did it?
You
expecting
sold
him to make it.
those the Matrix sold those phones and the glasses,
Yeah,
like, and
sunglasses.
trench
Yeah,
coats, like
dude.
the whole year.
So I
Like it
wrote
was
down this
like,
movie is leather, sunglasses, and phones.
yeah.
Like that's what this movie is. Like if you
Sunglasses
summed it up.
without anything to hold your ears. It's like you see that when he like put them
Yeah,
on, it like did something like crazy to
yeah,
grab
They
them.
like
Like, yeah, I was
clip onto
like,
your like
yeah.
nose,
your
top of your nose.
nose. I was
Yeah,
like,
they clip
Ugh.
onto like the top here. I've seen it
yeah,
before.
you
Yeah.
have? Damn.
Mhm.
No, I don't know if that would be that comfortable.
So the
That's
Not
club
terrible.
that they went to reminded me of the club from Blade.
Blade.
Yeah,
Oh,
Yes.
nice.
immediately. All these
Vampire.
clubs just like look like vampire clubs.
Yeah, dude, this
Like
could have been a vampire movie.
I mean,
This
there's
could have.
vampires in the second one.
there are.
Yeah.
Holy shit, you're
Why?
right. Why? Just because it's the Matrix. You should put that shit in the program. Like that's it.
Oh my God. But so you're in the office. Let's imagine you're in the office, you get a phone call from Morpheus, right?
Yeah.
Are you following these directions or like what because he went along with it until like he was outside the window, like outside in that ledge.
But you're talking to us as if we're Neo already.
Well,
Like we kind of have an idea that there is like a thing.
no, you're him at that moment. He's
Yeah.
sort of like kind of like what's going on. He gets a phone.
Well, definitely, especially because he sees like FBI, what he thinks is FBI, I'm
Oh,
assuming,
yeah.
coming after him. He know, which is funny because on the next scene when he's in the office at the end of the hall, he's like, "Why are they coming for me, dude? You're like supposed to be like this underground hacker. You know why they're coming for you?
Yeah.
Come on, bro, jump out that fucking window and go up to the roof.
Yeah.
What are you
Yeah.
waiting
Yeah.
for?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then
I
he
don't know
turned
why he
back.
wasn't all of a sudden he was like so timid. Like he obviously does
Yeah.
some fucked up shit at night. So
Well,
but
it
what I thought was a plot hole was when the agents make his face lose his lips
That was so crazy.
because they didn't need to reveal themselves so quickly. And there was like that moment was kind of like, and I understand like they kind of just reset him and he thought he was dreaming.
Yeah.
But like, what was it? Was it really necessary to do that to get that bug inside him? They could have easily just like knocked
Yeah.
him out and put the bug inside him and not done any of this.
I
I mean,
forgot
it
about
wouldn't have
that
been a
scene.
movie, but like I always thought that scene came later and I was like, damn, that was like pretty fucking early,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah,
So
I totally forgot about that scene. And when it came up, I was like, holy shit. I was like,
yeah.
first of all, it's one of my favorite parts too, because it's like the dialogue when Keanu Reeves is like, how about I give you the finger and you give me your phone, you give me my phone call. Like that was like the hilarious, like I love that part because he's just
That was a
like,
Johnny Utah right there.
yeah, that was Johnny Utah, like totally Johnny Utah. Like, how about I give you the finger? There it is. And
Yeah.
then
But
like,
that's when all of a sudden he got cocky for a second. But like,
mm,
where was his cockiness when he was trying to jump out a window and stuff?
well,
Like
exactly.
it came and went with Neo, you know? Mr.
Yeah.
Anderson, it was like he was two different people. When he was Neo, he was like cocky as shit. And then when he was Mr. Anderson, he was just like this timid. Again, this is definitely like Fight Club vibes too.
Well,
It's
there's
like,
also the esoterics of his name, Thomas Anderson. Thomas is from the doubting Thomas, is a
Yeah.
skeptic who refuses to believe without direct personal experience.
Mm-hmm.
Old. And then Anderson is just son of man. So other like,
Yeah.
this movie has massive amounts of biblical
yeah,
undertones to it.
Oh, and then he's
yeah, definitely.
reading. He's the book that he has his
And he
like
has
hacking
Judas.
stuff in is the nihilism book, but it's Simulacra and Simulation by John Baudrillard. So it's all about like simulation and is this real? What is reality? So like they're not. It's funny. The Wachowskis are like not. They're it wasn't very subtle. They were very much like Spielberg, just like let's just film this right where Gremlins was, like Back to the Future, right? Like he was just it's just all right in your face, like if you're paying attention, but like it's right there, right? So it's really quite interesting to kind of see because for me, as like a college professor, like I was thinking, this is all the dialogue every time they were talking about the Matrix. I was like, this is a philosophy class with guns. Like I was just like, holy crap! Like this is like I was just like so tuned into everything they were saying, and then it was just like, yeah, like but with guns and karate, and then like theory and philosophy. It was quite, well, it was really unbelievable.
The dialogue in this movie is pretty immaculate. It's
Yeah,
pretty amazing what they did.
yeah,
Yeah. I mean, you think about why it's so good. Like you think about how many people enjoyed this movie. The What you're saying is like they're just the dialogue, the action, the storyline. Anybody who watches any type of movie for whatever specific reason could like this movie. Like if
mm-hmm.
I just like action, this movie had it all. The
Oh yeah,
cinematography in this movie was phenomenal.
oh my god,
Every part of it was thought out. I mean, they said that the opening action scene took
amazing.
Yeah.
6 months to train, 4 days to shoot, like crazy. And
Yeah.
then you're just alone in the philosophy dialogue. Just
Mm-hmm.
if you just love dialogue and just love thinking and reading philosophy and all that stuff, like this is a great movie.
Yeah.
Doesn't even You don't even have to have the action scenes in it. And then like I just love cinematography and
Yeah.
just there's so much practical in this, but at the same time they found such a good way to put in CGI, but they also did some great practical work in this
That
So the bullet time, which is
Ugh.
like insanely famous from this movie. It's funny because they were actually credited the Akira director, but also Michel Gondry, who we were talking about doing Beacon Rewind, which is interesting. That supposedly him and a few other people were going to start bullet time before this movie, but this movie like just opened that wide
Yeah.
open to like I think I looked up it was spoofed like in over 20 different movies within like the first 2 years after
Yeah.
it.
Oh
Like
yeah.
it was spoofed in an insane amount of times.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
This was like I don't remember bullet time being talked about until Matrix.
Yeah.
I
Well,
mean, like
yeah.
what you're saying, it was around, but it wasn't so main street in the
Yeah.
zeitgeist
Yeah.
until Matrix.
Well,
What came
yeah.
first? Was it this or Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon?
This
Was
came
this
first.
probably right?
This.
Yeah.
This did, right? Because
Yeah.
then it was that, because I remember when that came out, it was kind of like the new
Unbelievable too.
bullet time. Like there was a lot more of like people running around, even though
Yeah.
that happened here. Like
Oh yeah.
him and Morpheus are fighting, and he like the kicks and the flying that they did, and like walking on the walls,
Yeah.
like that shit was crazy. It was
Yeah.
done so well.
And it was and I think what you
I
were
mean,
saying
you needed
too.
water to make it look even nicer.
You need
Obviously.
more rain, like more
You need
cowbell,
something
just more rain.
exploding. There's so
Just
much
like more
flooding
rain.
going on in this movie.
So much. But I think like what you were saying, Manny, too, about how much practical was used. Because I remember watching a making of this movie too, and like that whole end action sequence when they come to that building and that whole gigantic gunfight in the hall leading up to the elevator when they're saving Morpheus at the end. That's all practical. Most of like everything that was going on. Of course, there's CGI here and there what they're doing, but they're on ropes, they're on cables, they're doing all this stuff. The explosions, a lot of this stuff is practical, and then you're just like, then we just did the Roadhouse reboot, and they CGI'd these
Oh,
like ends of these like fight scenes for like what reason are you CGIing this?
I don't know.
The setup for the bullet time, I remember seeing it. Like there's like he's in a camera, he's in a circle, there's cameras circles like so like
Yeah, yeah.
take these pictures, and it's just like I guess the cost effectiveness, but like this is about craft, right? Like watching The
Yeah.
Matrix was like watching one of the greatest. It was like one of the best movies, like from
I
that
think
time,
like
like
the
going into
ensemble to
2000.
make this movie, it
You
was
have to love
like it was
film.
like an
Yeah.
orchestra.
Yeah,
It
you
was
have
an
to love
orchestra.
the art of what you were doing to take the time to make this movie happen.
The cool thing about being like knowing film and screenwriting and stuff is very interesting. That scene at the end, the shootout,
Yeah,
whatever, that's like the screenplay. If you read that, is only like a paragraph long, and that action sequence is like 10 minutes long. Like that's like all direction, cinematography. Like it's
yeah,
incredible what you come up with just like it's just literally just like they go through this and they shoot out, and
yeah.
that's like the whole it within the script is like they just turn that like sentence into this huge 10-minute like brawl that's just
Amazing.
incredible looking.
Yeah, unbelievable. So something else I was thinking of too, like as I was watching it, when it got to the first of all, when Morpheus like is talking, it's just so funny to listen to him. Like Lawrence Fishburne delivers those lines in like the greatest way. It was amazing. I loved it. When he explains the blue pill and the red pill, I was thinking in my head, I was like, because Manny, you texted me and said something like, yo, Morpheus is kind of a dick. And then I was like, well, what? And then I was listening to it. And I was like, wait a second. He really didn't tell. He's just like, take the red pill and I'll show you how far the rabbit hill and the rabbit hole goes and all these things. It's like, he should have been like, look, you take the red pill and I'm going to like some crazy shit's about to happen. You're going to see this. This is whatever. He doesn't really prep him. He's just like, here, eat this. You know what I mean? And of course, he
That's
takes
what I'm
the
saying.
red. I mean,
Like there's
He
a part.
does actually. I think in the scene after he's waking up in the bed, he does apologize for that. He's like, he's like, I should have told you we don't release people's minds at a certain age, and I should have told you this, something of that sort.
Because like yeah. Dude, there's a part even when he says to Trinity, like she's caught in the beginning,
yeah.
and he's like, "There's a phone, blah blah blah. You could make it." Like she's like, "This is impossible," and he's like, "No, no, you can make
Yeah,
it.
you
Just
got
go."
it. You
Like
got
he
it.
just does. I'm like, "Yeah, you're
Yeah.
not doing it, Morpheus. Thanks. I appreciate. I gotta jump through this mini window and do like a like fucking little twist while I'm going through it." I was like, "Holy shit!"
Yeah, he's like a really great motivational speaker. Like he's
Yeah.
just like a guru, like a mindfulness guru. He's just like, you got it. You got
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Just
No, you
manifest.
got it. You have to
Just
just
know
believe that
that's
none
the
of this
thing.
is
Yeah.
actually real. So
He's
like you're
t-
just this is fine.
yeah, he's talking about
Jump through
manifesting.
windows.
He's literally
Yeah.
talking about manifesting. He's like, if you believe it and you put it in your mind to believe it and
Yeah.
you do those, like you will get there. And I'm listening to it. I was like, I've heard this shit before. Like,
Yeah.
like I've read things like that. Like this is what we're talking. Like, and I'm like, that's what he's doing. He's just like,
Yeah.
just believe. And then the little kid being like, with the spoon part, like when they go see the oracle, and he's just like,
Oh
"You
my
have to
God.
believe that there is no spoon, and that you're the one bending." And I'm just like, "Son of a
Sure.
bit, yeah, okay, yeah,
Or what about when she goes, watch out for the vase, and he's like, what vase? And
yeah,
she's like, wait in a second, you're gonna wonder if you would have knocked it down if I even said anything. Like,
yeah,
so it was like you were like caught in this like
yeah,
loop of like philosophy of like,
yeah."
wait, so
And then
did it
have a
cause it because
cookie,
she said it? Like,
and then here, have a cookie. You're not the
have a
oracle.
cookie, you're gonna
You're not
forget
the
about
one.
all
Here's a
this.
cookie.
It's the Alice in Wonderland right there. Eat the cookie,
Yeah,
you'll
Yeah,
forget all
dude.
your
that's right.
worries.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh man, I love the
I mean, all
oracles.
of this was like that kind of shit, right? You know, like rabbit
Mhm.
hole shit. They bring that up again. Eat the
Yeah,
pill.
yeah,
You go, you get small. It's like there was so much going on, storytelling, and like
yeah,
probably every story that we've ever heard
yeah,
was being told in this whole
yeah.
film. It was great.
Would you have taken the red pill or the blue pill? Like, yeah,
Mm.
Red pill all day.
red,
Again,
red pill all day.
I think if I'm Neo, I'm doing it because I'm already, like you've
Yeah,
gotten this far. Like my mouth got shut, like turned into nothing. So
yeah.
like, why not? Let me see where this is
You're
going. Like,
seeing some shit.
yeah,
Why are you gonna go
at
Yeah,
this
back
and
point,
also
at this
they
point, fuck
pulled a
it.
bug
Like,
out of your
yeah,
stomach
they
in
pulled
like
the
yeah.
bug out.
like that car. First of all, we had to see like some of Keanu Reeves' pubes, like
Yeah, yeah.
1989 Roadhouse pubes, and then like they pull that out of his belly button. First of all,
Yeah.
it's like it instantly
Why does it
heals.
need
He's
to
just
be
like,
an insect? Yo, there was so much. There was a lot of like,
I guess if I saw that, I'd be like, yeah, I guess I'm taking a red
there
pill
was a
because I
lot
gotta
of
know what else is happening here. Like they just pulled something out of my like stomach.
Yeah, there was a lot of like, there was a couple of kind of moments like they made you like react,
Yeah,
like when that thing
Wow.
jumped in his belly button and then came out, I was like freaking out a little bit. And
yeah,
then like, everything did look very buggish, like
yeah.
very, even the robots, right, in the
Oh
real
yeah.
world, like, and why did it take them so long? Here's a couple of things that I'm gonna
Go
like
ahead.
be like, man, like like Neo's getting killed, right? He's basically dead, and she's like, "Oh, I love you. You can't die." Those robots would have been that ship wasn't that big, right?
I don't know.
Right?
That ship was like it
Like
looked like
they
a
were like they got in the
yeah,
first round and they couldn't find them that quickly. Like
yeah,
I was like, oh, they're dead. They're dead. But like I understand
yeah.
it was a movie and it was a lot of more intent. I think that could have been. I didn't need to see so many cuts of the robots trying to get in. Like
Those
just
were
go
the
back to
first version of Teslas driving into walls and shit.
yeah. Yeah,
Octopuses
you're right.
just
They just kept missing and stuff. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, yeah.
The
I see.
GPS coordinates were a little off.
didn't upgrade yet.
Oh my
Yeah,
God. That's so funny because yeah, I was thinking the same thing, and then a part of me was thinking like, man, their ship is garbage. I was just
garbage.
like, what is this thing?
Isn't
And
the
it should be
second one
cut to
take place right
pieces,
after this? Like the other
pretty
ones come and
much.
save them or something like
Yeah,
that?
so
I mean,
Yeah.
this ship is like should have been torn to pieces immediately, but it's a movie,
What
and
about Tank? What do we think about Tank as a character?
I love that guy.
He was bananas, man. He
Love
was
that guy.
high energy all the time. That guy was a commercial for Red Bulls before Red Bull came out.
Seriously, seriously. I
Or
would
like
say,
or like a Mountain Dew.
oh
Like
yeah.
Jesus
Oh my
Christ.
God. He's just like, and he makes hacking look awesome. But this is the thing. When you have to do stuff
He
in
does.
computers, like
Why
when
does
you
he
have
say operator all the time? Operator. I'm like,
well, he's the
no one else
operator,
is
bro.
calling you. No one else
one eight
is
hundred
calling you.
collect.
Who'd you think it was gonna be? Why do you gotta say operator?
Imagine he calls, he's like, who's this? I wanted one time for him to pick up and it'd be like movie
Operator.
phone. And it'd
Yeah.
just be movie phone. Like, hi,
They
this
should
is
have
movie phone.
that would have been a good
That
spoof,
would be
like in
fantastic.
one of the
Yeah.
spoof movies and stuff like that.
But
So
I loved him. I loved his brother, and he ends up getting killed. But
Yeah, they
like
were short lived, unfortunately.
yeah,
yeah.
the most useless character though, I feel, and I don't understand why they got him, why they took him out of the Matrix, was Rabbit. The guy who made the girl in the red dress, that program.
A mouse.
Yeah.
Mouse. I wrote down Rabbit. What am I doing?
Rabbit.
Mouse, rabbit, small animal. What was the like when Morpheus went to him? Like, what did he think he was the one, and like woke him up, and like
Oh, like why did Mouse
yeah,
exist?
yeah.
because like Morpheus was pulling. Wasn't it that you can? There was the story of like getting pulled out. It wasn't just Morpheus looking for people, but if you like reset the matrix, sometimes you made yourself come out. Like there's like I know that there was a lot of comic book like series that
Mm,
came
like the
after this,
Animatrix and
and
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, Animatrix, and there was this one story of this one guy who like he just jumped out of a building, forcing himself to like kind of wake up, and
Mm,
he like forced himself into his own pod and had to
mm,
find like his way out of it. And like
Jesus.
I guess he was alerted, somebody was alerted something. So like maybe Mouse came out that way. Like I don't know. We need a backstory on Mouse. Let's get a series on Mouse.
Yeah, because he was there was no way that he should have stayed on the ship.
Yeah.
Because when they
Yeah.
brought him
I
in
mean, what
and
kind of fighting did he do?
none, he got shot, he got killed. It was over.
He had those big ass, like,
Yeah, machine guns.
crazy machine gun things. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
Yeah.
then got
yeah,
lit up.
totally. Like nothing. Like he couldn't do anything.
All he was good at was making porno.
Yeah.
That's
the
why they freed him. That's why they
Yeah,
freed
that's why
him.
they
That's
freed him.
why they needed somebody.
Joey
Needed
Pants
somebody.
probably freed him. He's like, look, I know
Joey
this guy.
Pants.
You
I
know,
love that
what
you're
a
calling him
dick.
Joey Pants.
What a dick. Look, what a dick.
Why was he even
He
pulled
looked
out?
so
Like that
evil
guy's
right away. I mean, right
yeah.
away. Did they not
He was the
know?
Judas character.
Yeah, he
Yep.
was so evil right away. I mean, you see him, he's got the evil beard, the evil mustache. I mean, like, you're just like, you don't trust this guy.
No.
Like, you know,
There's
immediately, but
a
yeah.
there's a good foreshadowing too for his character. So throughout the movie, there's a lot of Alice in Wonderland references. He's the
Hmm.
only one that makes a reference to Wizard of Oz.
Oh,
What does he say? Something about Kansas? You're
yeah,
not in Kansas
Yeah.
anymore.
yeah,
Everything else everyone says is all Alice in Wonderland.
yeah.
Ah,
Yeah,
so
he
much
just was
foreshadowing in this.
a piece of garbage. But, he's really awesome.
I
I
mean, he
mean,
ends up dying, so
oh my
because
God.
Tank
Look Tank
doesn't
burns
die
him,
because he's
kills
freaking a
him.
tank, man. It
Good.
was
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
And then one of my favorite scenes was when Neo finally, like, when he like has it in him to be like, I'm just gonna grab this helicopter and save her, like,
That was
and
amazing.
like he didn't even like question it. And at that point,
No.
it's like, yeah, none of this is real. So like,
No.
sure, there's this program showing this thing, but I'm not really holding anything that's holding
No.
onto a helicopter right
And
now.
holding on to her.
And
What-
holding
what
on
was-
to her.
What was crazy was like I started to think in my head that like once they said that like the agents, which I mean Agent Smith, the main Agent Smith, what an amazing, that guy is the shit. That was amazing. I loved
Yeah.
it. Holy God. But every time, I mean, he had to say his lines so slowly. It would have drove me nuts to be that actor. Like everything was like, Mr. Anderson. Like I would have been like, I
Yeah.
can't be this. No, I can't be
He
this
held
guy.
it pretty good, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it needed to be delivered that way.
yeah.
Yeah.
But that means every civilian can be one of them. That means when these guys, when like Keanu Reeves and Lawrence Fishburne and Carrie Ann Moss are like running, they're just murdering innocent people. Like at some point, like
Sure.
I know that everyone is kind of like not innocent because they could be taken over and they're also shooting at them. But I mean, literally, it's funny to think that like now all these people are dead in their pods and they get flushed
Because
like,
they were
know,
used by the computer. Yeah.
or
They're
they're
basically
not.
used as human shields.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So it's like they just, I guess, have to feel all right just going there, like, look, we're just gonna end up just like shooting all these people. It's kind of not real and real at the same time, and whatever. And
Yeah. The
civil-
computer used somebody.
yeah,
And somebody
yeah,
did die.
yeah.
Yeah.
And when that, and when a helicopter crashes, like the amount of civilian deaths like are just a massive amount of people just like
Yeah.
exterminated.
Unless like could the Matrix like at that moment, knowing that it's gonna happen, like unhook the people from that
Mm,
simulation for that moment to not kill them in their head.
yeah,
I don't think the
know.
Matrix cares that much.
Yeah.
True.
They'll probably just make
Just
more
create more babies.
babies.
Like,
which is the question I have.
they couldn't
Like,
figure out
this is-
another way to create like energy.
well,
Like,
this
they're
is the
freaking
question,
robots.
right? This is the question I have about this. Agent Smith is talking about like he wants to get out of the Matrix and go back to their world, whatever. And I'm like, but what is their world? What is their existence as AI? Like just being robots? like what do they do except just be a singular consciousness? Like it's just one singular consciousness and then a farm of human beings. And that's what I don't get. Like I
I
guess,
think it was also, I think it was like the duality kind of thing. Like
yeah,
he want like, Neo wants to be free and he wants to be free. They're both, there's a lot of talk about, being, enslavement and stuff like that. And
yeah,
essentially Agent Smith is enslaved by the source of the Matrix,
right.
whereas Neo's enslaved by the Matrix as well. And they're both trying to get free in their own way.
Well, if they both read Pedagogy of the Oppressed by Paulo Freire, they would have both seen it. They were both oppressed and they could have both teamed together to like
Right.
fight some sort of oppressor. But instead, they're fighting each other. The whole thing is crazy. Like,
Yeah.
it's
So like,
really amazing
what was Agent Smith's like end goal by killing Neo, though?
to get home, which I don't know what that is.
Well, he said he wanted to get to Neo to get to Morpheus because he had the codes to Zion. And once he was done getting into Zion, then he doesn't have to do all this bullshit anymore.
Yeah. I guess he could be a robot.
He could be a free robot, making
Like,
robot
but
pornos.
how? Like, in what consciousness? In like what? In what form?
One of those
Like
flying
in computer
sentinels?
form,
I don't
in
know.
like actual like spider form. Like what?
I don't know.
What
Now I
in
got to
what
watch all
form
these
would he
movies.
be in Zion? Like
I don't know,
I don't
but
understand.
this movie's a horror film now to me because like when Morpheus started talking about like how this happened, he's like early 21st century, the human beings create AI, and I'm like, oh Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
Yeah.
oh no,
What
oh
I
no.
didn't get like when he's like, oh, where are we? He goes, more importantly, when are we? I was like, no, I want to know where the fuck we are. I don't really care what time it is. I don't know. I don't care if I'm off by a couple thousand years. Like, where are we? Okay, just tell me
But
where we are.
with a little interesting fact, like if you want to think about like what happened before the Matrix, so there's this woman named Sophia Stewart who claims that the Matrix and the Terminator were Rob's stories were pretty much stolen from her. She claims that the Terminator is the prequel to the Matrix, and
Ah,
John Connor is Neo in the Matrix.
Okay.
ah,
All right. So it goes
So
further. It
supposedly
goes that
that's how
far.
it started.
Yeah, and then
wow.
Stargate. Was it Stargate or not Stargate? What is the company that created the Terminator?
Starlink.
Starlink,
Oh,
right? And then that's what kind of links everybody. All right. So they're
yeah.
saying that's how it all starts.
I mean, this is some random woman who claims that.
Sure.
I mean, it sounds like she has no validity to the story, but
But
it
you
was
could say
interesting to
that
hear.
it's all connected in a web of
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
where the prequel all started
Sure.
was that. Got it. Damn.
Interesting
Shit.
theory.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question. Is like in the end, like
Oh,
how does
man.
this all end for either of them? Like
Destruction and
even in
reboot?
like the fourth one,
Fighting in the rain.
fighting in the rain. Yeah.
I
Well,
mean,
don't
it
they
all,
fight?
Where else?
It's like it rains the rest of the rest of the four. It's
I
just
mean,
dark and
well,
like
exactly.
horrible.
It's like that scene in Ninja Turtles when it's all raining.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
I mean, again, I think that like this was
I blame
really fun
pollution.
to watch. You what?
Pollution. It did it all.
You blame pollution. I blame
Pollution.
ChatGPT because
No.
this is all
I
on
just think
its
it's
way.
funny that there's still the robots aren't even solving the problem of the fact that they needed to get power because they didn't have solar anymore, and like they couldn't figure out how to solve like the
Yeah.
weather problem.
They didn't have solar because human beings in their great thought destroyed the sun.
No, but oh, that's what it was. They destroyed
Yeah.
the
They
sun.
scorch the skies.
Yeah, we destroyed the sky, so like this the sun can't
Well, yeah,
come,
no,
I mean,
because the sun can't come in. But you're
well,
telling
then
me
we
the
just kill
robot couldn't
ourselves. That's
figure
like,
out how to get rid of clouds?
but that's destroying us.
Yeah, they weren't very smart back then.
I don't know, man. There's a lot of these robots
Yeah,
are
man.
not that intelligent. Then
No, the human beings are not that smart.
no, I know. I'm not. I'm just saying, like they're supposed to be highly intelligent, and all they're doing is trying to stay alive with us, like breeding us. But what are they actually doing? There's not like what is their like purpose of life?
Singularity.
They're not making any money.
I think it's just singularity.
So there's like their whole
There's
purpose
no
of
more
life is just
capitalism. Once the
yeah,
AI take
no,
over,
no,
capitalism's over.
But like the AI just exists. So like they're just
Yeah.
kind of like they're so their purpose of life is just to stay alive.
Their
by any means
purpose
necessary.
is to
What's your
be
purpose? To pass the
Yeah.
efficient.
butter.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, so I guess the problem with for Smith is that he gained consciousness in a way, like gain like I want to do better than just like being around,
I don't know.
or he became like you're saying like you're saying like that he wants to be free, like he
He's
doesn't care
he's
about
the
being
enlightened.
part of.
He's the Lucifer to Neo's Jesus.
There you go.
He's the enlightened.
I
Got it.
feel
So he
like,
wants to be free.
Yeah,
yeah, I
got
feel
it.
like at certain point,
He's a fallen angel.
I was waiting for him to
Yes.
say, "I'm getting too old for this shit."
Doesn't in the second one, doesn't he like doesn't Agent Smith become all the agents? Like he like basically takes over like the program.
Like
Something like that.
multiplies and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's watch the second one right now.
That
Not-
scene looks I remember that scene being insane.
I remember watching the second one in the movie theaters too, and leaving the movie theater being like, I have no idea what just happened.
The thing about the other ones is that it was as if Matrix created their own problem, is that you needed to one up the action and the technology.
I think it also is a very like the story in general is so long that they had to put so like that story like it's
Yeah.
a biblical story and it just it's too long to be told in the amount of time that's needed. You can't tell that in one movie.
Yeah.
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 I think they, but like I think what they ended up doing though, with the difficulty of like everything, the philosophical depth that everything had been foundationed in. You're right. I think they're like, how do we keep this up and make it more complicated? Because it just continued to get more and more complicated. Where like in John Wick, there is no complication. It's just like he just continues to have to kill everybody
He
around
just gets
him.
less dialogue and just more fighting.
Yeah.
This
And
had
it's like
all
the
dialogue.
next day. That's what I love about John Wick. It picks up the next day. Like when you watch John Wick 2, it's just like he's like continues to keep going. He's
Dude
had
gets a
the
new dog in
craziest,
like 5 days.
yeah, he has the craziest week of his life ever. Like ever.
Yeah, it took us 4 years to watch it.
Yeah, exactly. Where like in this, we have no idea how much time has passed. We don't understand like what is. It's just. I mean, it maybe seems like a few days, but then it could have been even more.
I think between the first and second, I think there's the animatrix, I think prolongs that. But between the second and third, that's consecutive.
Okay.
Okay.
It is.
And what
It's
about the
like
fourth
literally
one?
starts right off.
Oh my
Fourth
God, that
one's
fourth one.
garbage. Don't watch it.
No, I watched it.
I watched it on
that
a plane.
sucks.
It was just I was
Terrible.
like, what? Oh, so you just copped out and went to, like
Yeah, it
that
was so
that Matrix
bad, man.
was a video game?
Well, let's see what happens. They might pull a Rocky Balboa here, and because
Do a
they're doing a
5?
fifth one,
Yeah.
and then I guess trying to
I think there's a
don't
new
know.
director attached, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I don't
But
know
are
what
they
they're
still
gonna do.
going with the biblical like storyline?
I don't know if the
I'm not
fourth
sure.
one even had that. It seemed like more of a love
Wow.
story. The fourth.
It
I
was
feel like-
just a money
Yeah.
grab.
Yeah, and I felt like it was just a cop out to go towards like the popularity of video games right now.
I thought it was you could have had so many different concepts. You could have even went like meta and been like the real world was actually just another Matrix, but they like that whole video game, like everything was just nonsense.
Yeah,
in
that would have
movie.
been. I like
Yeah.
that idea, Mike. That you could Zion could have just been a made up like
Just
other Matrix, to
another
just keep
Matrix.
hoping and thinking that you're
Yeah.
like gonna keep
Yeah.
doing it and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
They could have done a million things. I mean,
Yeah,
just
Yeah,
fuck-
they could have ended it at the third one.
Also, they could have
Yeah.
brought the ghost characters back. Dude, those characters were so awesome, and they just
Yeah.
left them. I
Yeah.
think they supposedly died in that one, but bring it back. Those were fucking awesome characters.
What was the explanation of that? How was that even possible in the program? It
Well, they were
just-
like exiled programs. So
But they
like
were
when
Oh,
I think
yeah,
there was a
that's
whole
right.
spiel that Oracle made about like how when people talk about aliens or werewolves and stuff, those are exiled programs that people had saw, but they were taken away by the Matrix because
Oh my
they're not
God.
supposed to be.
Man, this is a complicated story for
Very
a movie.
in-depth.
Jesus
Damn.
Christ. And you know, it's funny. The first one, I think, was at a great level of like complication in terms of like, well, what they wrote. And I think after that, it was just like, let's get even crazier when like they didn't really need to. They could have like just keep the battle going, but they really upped the philosophical parts in these like weird moments where like you have these like dialogues that are going on forever. and
Mhm.
ever. And I was just like, but in this one, it it was much more it was much more tamed. Like you felt like, okay, this is an action film, but it's science fiction, so we have to have the dialogue because that's science fiction. And then, we have the action part to get us through these scenes afterward, and it worked really well. I mean, I think like this one was definitely paced way better
I will
than
say
Oh
it
yeah,
was 2 hours
definitely.
and 16
agree.
minutes, and
Didn't
it
feel
did
like it.
not feel like it at all.
Not at all. Not at all.
Like we've been doing a lot of our previous episodes this year have been saying like bring back the 90-minute movie.
90
This felt
minutes,
like
bro. 90
yeah,
minutes.
that's what
Beautiful.
I
we
cannot
need,
go to
right,
the
Mike?
movies anymore, dude. I went to see Dune the other day
No.
at the theater. Man, dude, these movies are 3 hours long. What are you doing? I don't have all day to sit at a movie, bro.
Yeah,
90
and then
minutes is the perfect time.
there's probably like
It's perfect,
25
right?
minutes worth of
And
trailers before that.
if you're
Oh
a good
yeah.
storyteller, like you could do that in 90 minutes. Like
Yeah.
especially if it doesn't have to be like again, even with this movie with being so in depth, it was 2 hours and it didn't feel like that.
Yeah.
Like it's 2 hours and 16 minutes. I, I mean, that was good. I don't think I needed more. Like
No.
Oh yeah.
like imagine they ended it and
No.
you had to go to the Oracle again and deal with that shit. Like it'd be
Well,
like,
they do
nah,
go
you
back to
just
the
ruined
Oracle
it.
in the second
Yeah,
one.
in the
I
second
mean,
one. And you're
right.
sitting here listening to, I still remember like there was a whole scene. I'm like, why am I watching this person explain all this? Like, just
Yeah.
get to the, like the rest of the story.
Yeah.
But like,
Yeah.
yeah, 90 minutes. We need to do that. But
But this
you
one's
talked about what this grossed, right, Dan?
no. So let me do that. And then
The
we can,
budget
the budget was
versus
63 million
yeah,
and the box office total was $467.2 million.
worldwide.
The actual real budget, if they shot in the US, I think was supposed to be like upwards of 200 million, but they shot in Australia, I believe it was.
Ah,
Yeah, they shot in
get that nice
Australia.
credit.
Yeah. Supposed
You
to be
There
got
you go.
notes there,
180
Mike?
million
What do
if
you
they shot.
got? You got a book
Dude,
of the
I have like
Matrix?
5 pages of notes that I've written down.
You got anything else in there you want to say before we wrap this up? What do we got?
Well,
I don't
one
know.
thing
What
I
do you
will
want to know
say,
about?
the Wachowskis wanted to have um hold on, I had it out here. In the early 90s, Lana and Lily Wachowski the first choice for the role of Neo was Brandon Lee, but then he died in
Oh yeah.
1994 on the set of The Crow. So they were already thinking of this movie years and years prior to like even it being made, obviously because they have to write it and stuff like that. But I mean, Brandon Lee, that would have been really cool to see.
That
That's
would have
funny. They
been
said that there's
interesting. Yeah.
like right before Neo starts fighting in that karate area, he like he like does something with his like licks his like thumb like or
Oh, he does the
he like rubs his nose. That's a Bruce Lee move that he
yeah.
did, but Keanu Reeves apparently improv that and they just like kept it in there. But it's kind of
Wow.
weird that it like connects to the fact that Brandon Lee was supposed to be, in
Yeah.
this scene.
So
Nothing's a
Nuts.
coincidence.
Oh, so
Exactly.
wow. Val Kilmer was supposed to be Morpheus. That's what they did. They were going to pair Will Smith with Val
Mm.
Kilmer as Morpheus. Wow.
Hmm.
That's interesting. Gillian Anderson turned down the role of Trinity. Huh.
Don't know about that one. Do like Gillian
Yeah.
Anderson, but I just don't see that.
I don't see her doing like the crazy sort of like action scenes
Hey,
like
yeah.
at all. Ewan McGregor turned down the role of Neo because he was filming Star Wars Episode One. Excellent. Interesting. Wow. So many things. Like this was such a
I feel like
crazy
the actress
film.
who played Trinity, what's her name?
Carrie Ann
Carrie Ann.
Moss.
Yeah.
I feel like she could be a good Catwoman for some reason.
I can see
Oh,
that.
yeah. Huh.
Like a different way of seeing Catwoman. I think she would.
She was
Like,
actually in a show called The Matrix before
Yes.
no
she got
way.
this role. Yeah.
Yep.
Really?
In 1993, there was a show called The Matrix, and the premise was hitman Steve Matrix is shot, experiences afterlife, gets second chance by helping others, wakes up, meets the guides assigning cases where he aids people using unorthodox methods from past profession. And that is written so terribly, and it was written on IMDb. It's like someone forgot all the articles when they wrote that. I feel bad saying that, but it was just so stupid. Russell
Wasn't she
Crowe.
also in
Go ahead.
Memento? Was she in Memento?
Yeah, I
Yes,
think
she was
so.
in
Yeah.
Yes.
Memento.
Yeah.
Yeah. Russell
That was a good
Crowe
movie
turned
too.
down the role of Morpheus. He said, I just didn't get it. I couldn't get past page 42. That world was not interesting to me. So he read at least 42 pages of the script. And at that point, he was like, I don't get it.
That before or after Gladiator? Was the that was
Hmm.
Gladiator was after that,
I think
right?
Gladiator was after that. Yeah.
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 Huh, he did all right. I guess he's fine. He's fine.
Oh my God. So the Matrix, here we are. We're at the point, I think, where we have to put the Matrix to the nostalgia test.
This
And
thing's
how
only got
this
an 18.7 on IMDb. 18.7 out of 10. I mean, that's a good score.
8 out of 8.7, 18.
8.7.
Yeah.
Sorry. 8,
Yeah.
8.7. I don't know what
And
the Rotten Tomatoes is.
I mean, we don't have to compare it to Cocktail. We
Sorry
already know it's
to
going to be
interrupt.
better than Cocktail.
Can't hear you.
You can't hear me. Oh, yeah, you can. So anyway,
Oh, no, I can't hear you. What?
are you
Are
serious?
you back? You're probably recording. It's
Can
been
you
going out
really?
all day. It's fine. Now I'm back.
Oh
It's
my
fine.
God. All
My
right.
my Wi-Fi has been unstable this whole time, and I saw you guys like for like twice. I didn't hear you guys, and you guys are both talking to each other. So I was like, "This is cool."
Oh my God.
It's a
Jesus
glitch in the
Christ.
Matrix.
Oh
That's
my,
right. They
yeah,
don't
the
want us to
AI is
talk
trying to
about
shut
it,
us down.
bro.
They're like, get this fucking down.
All of
Shut
a
them
sudden, I
down.
get taken. You're gonna see freaking Agent Smith just like,
Yeah. But so the way this goes, it's like if it passes the nostalgia test, that means it's good. We'd recommend it now. It holds up. It's still good. We'll watch it. We would choose to watch it. And if it fails the nostalgia test, it could be just nostalgic, meaning it just gives us that nostalgic 90s vibes, but we wouldn't necessarily go out of our way to watch it. And if it fails even worse, it is just terrible. Needs to be erased from history. It is Three Musketeers bad. And there's a
apparently
few
Mike thinks
people
about that as the fourth one.
few people have been out there saying the Three Musketeers are down with it,
Oh my
but I think
God,
they're wrong. Wrong
wrong.
take review.
Yeah,
Love you guys. But
you guys are wrong.
so here we are. Mike, would you like to start us off?
Yeah, definitely go see it. I mean, watch it
So
anywhere,
so it
anytime.
passes.
No doubt.
Definitely passes for Mike.
I think
All
it's
right.
honestly on like a top like have to see before you go type of
Mm,
movie. Top 10,
mm.
top 5 maybe.
Wow.
Top
Excellent.
5.
I
Wow.
think I mean, the amount of difficulty it takes to make a movie, you need dialogue, you need cinematography, you need good acting, you need good directing. This
Mhm.
movie, checks a lot of boxes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right. So it
I said
passes.
I,
it passes.
that's true.
Passes. Manny.
I definitely agree. I think this passes the nostalgia test. I think it's going to last. I wouldn't say top 5. I'd definitely say a top 10 movie. I hadn't seen it in a while. I hadn't even thought about it.
Oh.
And now I'm like, man, I can't believe I haven't like watched this. It's kind of it's weird. It's like one of those movies that is just good, but it's
Mhm.
like I don't need to watch it all the time. It's just such a great movie. Like,
Yeah.
you know, if anyone hasn't watched it, you should watch it. If you haven't
Yeah.
watched it in a while and you're choosing between this or some stupid ass movie that's been coming out that's 3 hours long,
Yeah.
pop in Matrix. It's
Yeah.
a good. First of all, it's very nostalgic.
Mhm.
It does bring 90s vibes, but you're not like mad at it, and it's not like 90s
No.
trash. It's like it's 90s gold. I
Yeah.
love the phones in it, both the cell phones and even just the rotary phones. Just seeing that stuff, the technology isn't. It doesn't look cheesy. You know,
No.
like when like you go back and watch some of this stuff, and like they use the CGI, and you're like, oh, that was really bad CGI back then, and I can't
Yeah.
believe we thought that was really good. It's like it was good. It was
Yeah.
good. It wasn't like,
Yeah.
oh man, gross. It was definitely good. I liked it. I had a good time. Like I
Gross.
suspended my disbelief, and
Yeah.
it's good. It says 83. By the way, it has an 83% fresh
Okay.
tomato
All right.
vibe on it. So
There you go.
yes.
Excellent.
rabbit
All
hole.
right. And I will definitely say The Matrix from 1999 passes the nostalgia test. It is an amazing action movie, amazing science fiction movie, one of Keanu Reeves' best movies. I don't know. I love Keanu Reeves in anything he's in. I think even some of his like really ridiculous movies. There's a movie where he plays a serial killer, which I don't know how that happened. And it was just so much fun to watch. I watched it just before the podcast, just before we started recording. I ended up having to watch it in a Starbucks on my computer, which,
Nice.
in LA, I mean, if someone's like, oh, look, someone's watching The Matrix and taking notes, that makes sense. So I was just like, but I was in it. It was like so great to watch the music, the action, the dialogue, all the actors were great. This is definitely a
Mike,
top.
did you make an art piece of this one yet?
I have not. I'm actually in the process of I want to put a show together that essentially combines predictive programming and revelation of the method in a concept. And I want to make a bunch of VHS pieces. And this is like one of the main ones. I mean, I would do it beforehand, but like I have numerous movies that I'm going to break down and talk about predictive programming and revelation of the method that has been presented in these movies and break down symbolism and stuff like that. So this is obviously you already know the biblical aspect of this movie is like insane. Like I already wrote 5 notes and that was just 5 pages of notes and that was just on a whim.
I mean, we can't forget the Nebuchadnezzar, which is literally from the Bible, like King Nebuchadnezzar brings the Hebrews out of Babylon, and it's crazy how they put all this like in this film. Plus, like there's a whole thing now too where the Wachowskis talk about how the Matrix is also about identity and transitioning as well, and trans identity. So like there's layers of things that like people have seen themselves, the Wachowskis have now said, as have put out as well. So the Matrix is going to continue, I think, to evolve over time as we have like different discourses about the all this stuff going on. But excellent. Well, Mike, tell
When's
everyone
that show coming out, Mike? Where are you gonna have it?
It's probably not going to come out for a bit. I still got to finish up scripts and stuff like that, and our process of making anything is insane. So it'll be a bit, but I mean, if you want to, like I said, you are in the biz, so if you ever are into any productions, need help with anything, let me know, man. I'm always down.
Oh, definitely, man. Definitely. Cool.
Excellent.
Yeah, we'll talk after. I gotta mention something after the show, but I don't have to drop it right now. No shameless plugs right now. Anyways, guys, thanks for coming on to the Nostalgia Test. Go watch The Matrix. Let us know what we should put to the test next, and also what you thought about The Matrix, and did we get it wrong? We actually don't care if you think we got it wrong, but we do want to hear about it, and so we can argue with you.
And Mike, thank you so much for coming on. Why don't you let everyone know one more time where they can find your work?
You can find me on Instagram, mrtheartist. On my website is mrtheartist.bigcartel.com, and you can email me mrtheartist@gmail.com. Guys, thanks you so much for having me. This was so fun. Matrix is awesome. Everybody take the red pill. You could have your steak another day.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mike. It was amazing. Everyone, check out Mike's work. All of his links and stuff will be in the show notes, and hit us up on our website, thenostalgiatest.com. And if you're interested in contacting or booking Manny and I on as guests on your podcast or any special events, hit the contact and booking the Nostalgia Test tab, fill out the form and send it our way, and we can get that going. And follow us on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Threads at the Nostalgia Test, and on X at Nostalgia Test. And everybody, we'll see you at the next test. Peace.
Thanks for listening to today's episode. Please subscribe to the Nostalgia Test podcast to know when new episodes drop. Don't forget to leave us 5 stars and a positive review so more people can find the podcast. Share your thoughts and memories on today's topic on our Twitter at Nostalgia Test, and on Instagram at the Nostalgia Test. Tune in next time, because you never know what pop culture will pop up on the Nostalgia Test.